Welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I'm your host, Brice de Angulo Lozada, and today I am joined by this wonderful person, Jimmy Greene, the Hope Guy. Welcome to the show, and it's so wonderful to see you here.
Thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Buenos días.
Buenos días. Gracias por estar aquí.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Jimmy, I want to know something about who you are beyond your title and your work. Like, I want to get to know you as a person.
Well, first, let me just say my title is important because it's the premise for everything I do.
Okay.
So I will say beyond that. But so my name is Jim Greene with an E, right?
Okay.
They put me on the Hall of Fame in my high school. They spelled my name wrong. That's not right. No, I'm just kidding. So the Hope Guy means, look, I was a counselor for emergency room psychiatric counselor, right, for almost 30 years. So I go by the Hope Guy, right? Because not only did I learn psych in college, in a book, but I've also been clinically depressed myself in life several times. Now, what causes that? Sometimes we don't know. I mean, I played football for 14 years. They think, some of that. But beyond that, I'm a husband, I'm a dad, right? My daughter just graduated from college.
Congratulations.
Summa cum laude,
Wow.
right? The highest honor.
That's awesome.
She my daughter, Christina, and my daughter Erin is the older. God has a funny sense of humor. Gave me girls. I love them. So I live with all three women. But here's the thing. When you think maybe you're not that good a dad or good a parent, success leaves clues, right? She got all A's in college.
Wow. That's
throughout
amazing.
her career.
That's wonderful.
And that's not to say Erin, my other daughter, is going to be a nurse eventually. Wow. So my wife and I are very proud of them. So beyond the Hope Guy, I'm always the Hope Guy no matter where I am. It makes my
That's
family
beautiful.
a little crazy, I think. But so what you see is what you get with me. I try to be as authentic as I can be, but I speak from here, not so much from here. So who I am as a person, right? The answer to the question is I'm just a poor kid from Hoboken, New Jersey that has a passion for people.
That's beautiful. I think something from hearing your story and from knowing what I know about you is that word hope is so important because even if we all wear masks, inside there's this hopelessness and how important it is to know that life is much more, and we only have one life. We either really live it, or we get stuck. And something that you mentioned to me in another part was what you mean by hope. So can you share that again?
Again, having been in despair. Believe me, right? If you had seen me 7-8 years ago, we were a very different situation. I wouldn't be able to even do what I'm doing right now. But so that's why I do what I do, because I've been there. I know what it's like. Yeah. I've been, and I know there's people out in the audience that are maybe there. I'm living proof that there is hope. So hope stands for, I've come to learn over the years, is as an acronym, HOPE. Hold on. Possibilities exist. Now, how do you and I and everybody out there mostly get hope? Same way, HOPE, hearing other people's experiences. It's very powerful when a counselor says to somebody, hey, you know what? 3 years ago, I was in your spot. Yeah. So people, it gives them a drive to say, wow, if this guy made it, so can they. And that's why I do it.
And one of the things that society makes us think is that being vulnerable is a weakness, but your vulnerability is what gives others the hope and the reason to say, okay, we've all have this, but we can also move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just talking about this with a friend the other day. The ability to be vulnerable. Not everybody wants to do that, but I welcome that opportunity because, you talk about anti-stigma, right?
Right.
So as a counselor, two of the things that kill us most are guilt and shame. And there's nothing to be ashamed of if you've been depressed or you have an addiction, right? I've sent hundreds of people away for their whatever they were addicted to, alcohol or drugs. And if they work the program, they get better. Same thing with the depression. So that's why I do it. That's breaking barriers. No, that's saying to people, look, don't give up. Hold on. Possibilities exist.
Right. And being able to share your experience with authenticity, it's so important for others who are living in that shame that you're talking about. When I share with people, yes, I was depressed, I had anxiety, I tried to commit suicide 2 times, and I'm here today. If I can do it, you can do it. And so that is something that you every single day stand for, not by your words. We have so many people just saying words, but by your example and your life. And that is so important and so crucial.
I try to live the joy of the Lord in a way. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
I live that in the sense that to give that to other people. See, inner peace comes, the peace and the happiness has to come from within. Most people look outside themselves for the happiness.
Yeah, and you bring such an important part is that many people think that healing is moving forward, but healing is actually turning inward and looking at what you have, because we all have that light to shine, but somehow circumstances and things have covered it, but the light's still there.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best books I recommend to a lot of people, and myself included, and my patients, was a book that was entitled "Happiness is an Inside Job: 10 Spiritual Practices to Gain Inner Peace." And it was written by a Jesuit priest that's now deceased. His name is John Powell. And, it says things like, be a good finder, right? One of the ways to get inner peace is to be a good finder. You don't see a lot of that today. No. Seek growth, not perfection.
Yes.
Make prayer, make meditation, a prayer, a part of your daily routine, right? The whole idea of just, it's not rocket science is what I'm saying. You don't need a degree. I don't need a degree to give someone hope.
Yes.
You just have to be vulnerable enough and willing to say, you know what? I was where you are, man.
Yep.
And that's what resonates with people out there, I hope, about things that you do and what the Hope Guy does. Because I did it for so many years. Think about it. When somebody comes to the emergency room, they're pretty much out of hope. Yeah. So I was the Hope Guy before I was the Hope Guy.
It was just inside of you.
It was my calling. It became my mission in life, which it remains so.
Is there any experience you would like to share with those who are hearing where you felt that you were about to give up and you're like, I can't do this anymore, and you held into, because that holding into is what took you to the next step? And so would you,
as painful as it is, to, as you've noted yourself, just about 8 years ago now, I would say from 2017 to 2020, I was totally incapacitated. I could not it was all I could do to, take my wife to work and take my kids to school. And there was a precursor to that. It was something happened in life, and it was that didn't turn out the way I thought it would, and I fell increasingly deeper and deeper into that despair. And so, thanks to the love of my wife, and my kids, and those around me, that stuck with me 3 years. I say Jesus was in the tomb for 3 days, and I was in the tomb for 3 years. No, but having gone through that, that's why I teach people as the Hope Guy to turn their setbacks in life into comebacks, because we all have them. You have them. I have them. Everybody out there has setbacks in life. But what are you going to do about it then? Right. Like you said, I had to really reach deep down and say, I have a family that loves me. I have a family that I need to take care of. They need me. And yet I almost still would not be sitting here. I almost took that route. And thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
Because it made me a stronger person. It made you a stronger person. I'm sure if you know, a lot of people think adversity is a bad thing. You know, as an athlete, you're coming up against adversity all the time. So I'm used to it in life, and all the different adversity. We all go through it. But the main thing is you got to break through that.
Yes.
And say, you know what? I'm not going to stop until I accomplish what I have to accomplish.
What helped you hold on that moment?
My faith. I think my faith in God, certainly not wanting to give up, not wanting to quit. My family, my wife, my kids, wanting to see them, like I said, I just saw my daughter graduate. If I had, I just was great to see her. And then my other daughter, I hope to see her graduate nursing school within the next 2 years. So all of these things I always knew deep down that I have something that the world needs, and I'm not going to give up, even though as hard as I almost gave up,
Yeah.
But don't give up out there is what we're saying here is, as I said, the Hope Guy is someone who, is saying to you, having been there myself, hold on, possibilities exist. You're hearing other people's experiences. Go to support groups. That's why support groups are so powerful. Yes. You hear other people's experiences and you say, wow, they were there. Now they're here. Now they're on television. Now they're on a radio show.
Right.
Life comes full circle.
Yeah.
But sometimes God writes straight with crooked lines.
You would not be where you are helping so many if you hadn't gone through it. Because now you can feel the pain without them having to explain you the details of anything. You can feel the pain.
Yeah.
And your own presence is enough for them to say, there's hope.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful thing that you have transformed the most painful and you and God, it's like, here's my broken pieces. Yeah. What can I do to use it to bring shine and light? And thank you so much for not giving up and transforming it.
I appreciate that. I read a book years ago called The Wounded Healer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we're all wounded healers.
Yes, absolutely.
I go out about the world, you go about the world. We're wounded healers. We're willing to take that woundedness and go out into the world and help you. So if you're looking to find hope, look for the Hope Guy at thehopeguy.org.
Tell the audience a little bit of what you do, and if anybody in the audience resonates with you, how can they stay in connection with you? How can they reach out? How can they have a conversation with you?
Right. So I do motivational, inspirational programs. I've been doing that for about 24 years now. So my goal is the same, whether I'm on stage or but I'm not. When I say a life coach, right? I'm a solution-centered life coach.
Awesome.
It's brief, solution-centered because of the fact that I've heard probably almost every problem a person could go through. Depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, bad marriage, bad relationship, everything, suicidal thoughts. So my thing is it's brief and it's solution-centered life coaching one-on-one. So I can offer those types of services, come to your organizations and inspire them and give them hope. And that's my mission. That's became my mission about 25 years ago when I entered counseling. And it's so what you see is what you get. I'm not a scripted kind of guy. You could tell I grew up in Hoboken, New Jersey, across the river. I'm just a poor kid from Hoboken. Well, Frank Sinatra was from Hoboken. He was born and raised there, baptized, everything. So,
wow.
But it's a joy. It's really a pleasure.
So where can they find you?
They can go to thehopeguy.org. That's what I would say. thehopeguy, HOPEGUY guy.org. And book, whatever, we're gonna inspire millions of people by this, and
it would be wonderful.
That's my hope. That's my prayer, and my prayer is to help people that were in your situation and mine to not do that, and to know intrinsically within themselves that they have worth, they have greatness within them.
That is beautiful. I think one thing that radiates from you when I'm around you is that hope and joy. Yeah. And one thing that, makes me think about is many times we look for external things to make us happy. And it's like, this person is not making me happy. This situation is not making me happy. But happiness comes from inside, because you can be in the most difficult times and you still find the way to be thankful with that, because you know that that's shaping you and molding you to be, something that you had no idea. Yeah. So thank you for radiating that, for giving that hope, especially in those moments. If there's something you want your last words to tell those who are in the thick and thin right now, before the breakthrough, what is something you would tell them?
Well, don't give up. Like Jimmy V said, Jimmy Valvano, the basketball coach, when he had cancer, he said, don't give up, don't give up, don't ever give up. Reach out. There's lots of services available out there in local emergency rooms, support groups. If you're going through it like we've been there, the only way out a lot of times is through. Yes. You have to go through. And to your point, again, back, happiness is an inside job, folks. I look around the world and, I've been a counselor, like I said, almost 30 years of my life. And everybody's looking outside. They want the car, the house, this, that. But it's in here. Peace has to come from within, okay? Like I said before, it's a great book, still around. Thrift books, my daughter put me on to thrift books. The happiness is an inside job. Yeah. Basic premise of that is like you were saying, and I'll finish with this. If you're going through things and you're looking outside yourself, you're looking in the wrong direction. It's got to come from within us, and you can find the peace. I find it through daily prayer, meditation, and so forth. Now that might not be for everybody. Some people have a different way. Right. But I thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. And I want to close by saying, like our hope guy here, Jimmy Greene, if you're going through this, you're not alone. Reach out. There's people, like he said, we have to go through, but you don't have to go through alone. Yeah, and there's people out there, and you can reach out to Jimmy Greene at thehopeguy.org.
Yeah.
So you're not alone, and you don't have to go through this alone.
Yeah. We'll find we'll if I can't coach you through it, I'll find somebody who can help you. And that's what I did. So that's what we'll do.
Yes.
Hold on. Possibilities exist. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. It's so wonderful to have you here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.